If you drive a car in the United States, there is one rule that almost every state takes seriously. You must have car insurance. But every year, millions of drivers still get behind the wheel without it. Some people do it to save money. Others simply forget to renew their policy. And some assume nothing will happen if they are careful on the road. But driving without insurance in the US can lead to serious consequences. From heavy fines to license suspension, and even financial disaster after an accident. In this video, we'll break down exactly what happens if you drive without insurance in the United States, and why it can cost far more than you think. First, it's important to understand that car insurance is legally required in almost every state. Most states require at least liability insurance. This type of coverage pays for damage or injuries you cause to other people in an accident. The idea is simple. If you cause harm while driving, you must have the financial ability to cover the damage. Only one state, New Hampshire, does not technically require auto insurance. However, even there, drivers must prove they can pay for damages if they cause an accident. So in reality, almost every driver still needs financial responsibility. Now, let's say you're driving without insurance and get pulled over by the police. Maybe it's a routine traffic stop. Maybe you were speeding or ran a red light. One of the first things an officer will ask for is proof of insurance. If you can't provide valid insurance, you may immediately face penalties. These penalties vary by state, but they are often severe. In many states, the first offense can result in fines ranging from $100 to over $1,000. Some states also add court fees and administrative penalties on top of that. But the financial penalties usually don't stop there. In many states, your driver's license can be suspended for driving without insurance. This means you legally cannot drive for a certain period of time, which could be anywhere from a few months to a full year. To get your license back, you may have to pay reinstatement fees and show proof that you now have active insurance. Some states may even suspend your vehicle registration. That means your car itself is no longer legally allowed on the road. If you continue driving after a suspension, the consequences become even worse, potentially leading to larger fines or even jail time. And speaking of jail, while it's less common, some states do allow short jail sentences for repeat offenders who continue to drive uninsured. Courts may see it as a serious disregard for the law and public safety. But the real financial nightmare begins if you get into an accident without insurance. Imagine you cause a crash that damages another car or injures someone. Normally, your insurance company would step in to pay for those damages, up to your policy limits. But without insurance, you are personally responsible for every dollar. Car repairs alone can cost thousands of dollars. If multiple vehicles are involved, the damage could quickly reach tens of thousands. Now add medical bills for injured drivers or passengers. Emergency care, hospital stays, surgeries, and rehabilitation can easily push costs into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And because you don't have insurance, those victims can sue you directly in court. If a court rules against you, the judge may order you to pay the full amount of the damages. In some cases, your wages could be garnished, meaning a portion of your paycheck is automatically taken to repay the debt. Your bank accounts or personal assets could also be targeted to satisfy the judgment. For many people, this kind of financial burden can take years or even decades to recover from. There's another consequence many drivers don't think about: your future insurance costs. Once you are caught driving without insurance, insurance companies may label you as a high-risk driver. This means that when you finally try to buy a policy again, your premiums could be significantly higher. In some cases, drivers are required to file a special form known as State Route 22. And State Route 22 is not insurance itself, but a certificate that proves you carry the minimum required coverage. Insurance companies file this form with the state on your behalf. However, drivers who need in-state Route 22 often pay much higher premiums for several years. So even if you avoided paying insurance before, the long-term cost after being caught could be much greater. Some drivers believe they can avoid these problems by simply being extra careful on the road. But the reality is that accidents happen every day, even to the most cautious drivers. And it only takes one unexpected moment for the consequences to become life-changing. Statistics also show that millions of drivers in the U.S. are uninsured. Because of this, many states require insured drivers to carry something called uninsured motorist coverage. This type of coverage protects people if they are hit by someone without insurance. But relying on others to protect themselves from uninsured drivers doesn't protect you from legal responsibility if you're the one driving without coverage. There are also practical problems that can arise immediately after being caught without insurance. Your vehicle could be impounded. This means the police tow your car and store it in a lot. To get it back, you'll have to pay towing fees, daily storage fees, and proof of insurance. These costs can add up very quickly. In some states, authorities may even require you to maintain proof of insurance for several years after your violation. If your coverage lapses again during that period, your license could be suspended immediately. So, why do people still drive without insurance? For many drivers, the biggest reason is cost. Car insurance premiums in the United States can be expensive, especially for young drivers or those with poor driving records. But compared to the potential financial damage from an accident, insurance is often far cheaper in the long run. There are also ways drivers can reduce their premiums. Comparing quotes from different insurance companies, maintaining a clean driving record, choosing higher deductibles, and bundling policies can all help lower costs. Some states even offer special programs designed to provide lower-cost insurance options for drivers with limited income. At the end of the day, driving without insurance in the U.S. is a major financial and legal risk. What may seem like a way to save money today can easily turn into thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in penalties and damages tomorrow. So before you start your car and head out on the road, make sure you have the coverage you need. Because in the United States, driving without insurance isn't just illegal, it can be one of the most expensive mistakes a driver ever makes. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to CashCrypt for more videos about money, insurance, and financial mistakes that could cost you big.